many notes. Do you know why I have notes? Thank you. Because today schools were closed, I was home with my son, and I made a decision to not work on my comedy, but to spend time with my 5-year-old. So if at any given point you're like, that's not that funny, just think, but she's a good mom, and then do like a charity laugh. Like that one. That's my friend Todd. He's a plant. He'll be doing that throughout my skit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's enough. So I don't believe in evolution. So thank you. Always a popular belief to bring to the party. It's not some deep religious conviction. I just can't see how, like, our bodies are not acclimating to the demands of the world. For instance, I had fast food last week. I never eat fast food, but every once in a while I just like to have it as a reminder. Like, oh yeah, that's disgusting, I'm not gonna eat that. So I had a chicken sandwich, a breaded chicken sandwich, and the grease splashed up and burned the heck out of the roof of my mouth. Have you had this happen?
Yep.
Oh, 2.5 people. Thank you for
Yes.
doing
Oh, yes! Oh, I just had it happen.
And he had it happen. Todd, I owe you so much money. So, like, White Castle began in 1921, so we've had 100 years to acclimate to shitty, greasy food burning the hell out of our mouths, and yet it's not. So I had this chicken sandwich, it burnt my mouth, it was a horrific night, just gross skin hanging from the roof of my mouth. Horrific, right? So I just think evolution should have, like, made plans for that. Like, it just should have had, like, scar tissue grow on the roof of our mouths. Like, when our babies are born, they should have that. And I shared this story with my buddy, right? Like, do you think this is a joke? Is this funny? He's like, oh yeah, like walleye. I'm sorry, I don't understand. And he said, oh, like walleye, they have cartilage in the roof of their mouths, and the hook can't get in there, so you can't catch them. I'm like, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you, walleye mouth. That's what I was expecting from evolution, was walleye mouth, apparently. So the other night we were watching the Science Channel. I need a water, if anyone can give me water. I was not ready for this. I think most TV is generally crap, so I don't let my 5-year-old watch it. So we watch the Science Channel, which turns out to be so horrifically violent and disturbing that every time we have that show on for 5 minutes, I realize what a mistake it is, but I keep repeating this mistake. And we were watching this show about the marine iguanas. Do you know about the marine iguanas?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple people do. So you'd think they're marine iguanas because they can swim. They can. I don't think that's why the scientists gave them this name. They have, like, little leather jackets and mohawks. They're like marine iguanas. They're like, hoorah, I'm gonna get drunk and get in a fight. That's totally why they got this name. Oh, double. You're a good man, Pecker.
I wouldn't drink something he brought you.
Well, I make bad decisions all the time, Todd. Yeah. So these marine iguanas, the mama marine iguana puts these eggs in the sand. And when they hatch out of these eggs, and they have milliseconds when they emerge from the sand to get to the rocks where their parents are to survive. In those milliseconds, there are something called racer snakes. Hundreds of racer snakes pour out when these iguanas are born to eat them. The racer snakes see them. The iguanas are born, they are black, they have to run against light brown sand. That's some shit camo right there. Like, that is selective evolution. So now it's my theory that science picks some animals to survive and others not so much. Just a theory, not saying it's right. I don't think people choose cannibalism. You know, nature versus nurture. I don't think people pick it. I think Jeffrey Dahmer, one night in Milwaukee, orders a pizza, scorches his mouth, goes to bed. The next morning, he's clearing out the stalactites of skin. It's a little acquired taste. I think that's the gateway drug to cannibalism. I told my husband that joke this morning, and he told it at work. He told it very poorly at work, but he told it at work, and all the guys laughed. And I said, either that makes me really funny, or you guys really jacked up. It could be both. I went to the movies this weekend. Oh, this slipped, and I can't fix it. I went to the movies. I don't know how to fix this. I really don't. I have no microphone skills. I went to see Peter Rabbit this weekend. Did anyone else see Peter Rabbit? Not a damn person. That's awesome. I went to see Peter Rabbit because I have a 5-year-old and I need to take my child to movies. And if you've been to movies with kids, you know they're a little hit or miss. So when I went to the movie theater, I got a beer. It was 11 in the morning. That's a good time for a beer, right?
Woo! This was good.
You can get a beer at movie theaters now, which is great. I mean, you have to remortgage your house, but you can get a beer, so that's good. But when I was walking into the theater, I saw this woman, the mom of all moms, give me the stink eye, right? She's got the denim skirt to the floor. She's got the hair bun. She has like 16 kids, and she's just looking at me like, nice lady. And I knew she wanted to talk to me. So afterwards, as I was walking out with my child and my empty beer, she made eye contact. So I welcomed her into the conversation and smiled. And she said, that's great, lady. Real nice, drinking alcohol with your kid at a movie. I said, you know what? I have a medical condition, and this beer helps my nausea. That shut her up. That was awesome. She left. She doesn't know I have self-diagnosed social anxiety. She didn't need that detail, I don't think. But I actually do have anxiety. I want to talk about that more in my life. I want a t-shirt that says, I have anxiety, what's your superpower? Because I think anxiety is more common than we realize. So I pulled it up on Google last night. Like, there's got to be a lot of people with anxiety, right? You know, how many people would you guess have anxiety in America? Guess a percentage.
4.
60.
60%?
Yeah. 70.
Yeah, right? Some survey, whatever, 18%. That's what it said. So I think there's like 60% who are lying about it, and 22% who are too nervous to take the survey. And I am not a mathematician, so I hope that adds up. But I don't want to be labeled crazy. That's really hurtful. I don't mind anxiety, depression. I'm good with those labels. I don't like crazy. And in fact, in watching movies with my son, I've realized that if I'm going to be crazy, I want to be crazy in England, because they're nice about it. Like in the US, they're like, oh, you're batshit crazy. That's not nice. That is hurtful. But you go to England and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, she's gone round the bend. That sounds like a compliment. I'd be like, thank you, thank you. I'd like to thank everyone who got me here, all those ex-boyfriends, bad parents, beautiful. Or another thing they say is, I think she's gone crackers. Also beautiful, right? Who doesn't like crackers? Like Ritz? I don't know. I think it's nice. I'll end on this. Since I'm running out of notes, I guess I'm running out of jokes. This weekend I went to the Milwaukee Art Museum. Who's been there? Okay, if I were doing a survey, more people went to the art museum than saw Peter Rabbit. It's good to know, statistically. And I was good. I like to go to museums alone. And here's why. I don't want to talk to anyone when I'm looking at the art. I really don't want anyone talking to me. Unfortunately, there were 2 ladies there that did not get the memo, and I got stuck at every exhibit with these 2 ladies. They confused museum tour with mall walking. And seriously, every exhibit I went to, they were right by me. Oh, did you see Jumanji? Oh, I totally did. Fred and I went. It was great. Was it like the first one? Well, kind of. I'm like, ladies, there's our on the wall? Never mind. But fortunately, I was in a room these ladies were yattering on, and I heard from another room. Now, in the other room, there were these paintings, 17th century paintings, right? And they were of these guys, Flemish guys, because I think art is only about Flemish men. I don't even know what Flemish means. I don't think Flem is a country, but I'm American, so I wouldn't know that level of geography. So I hear this lady behind me in this other room say, "That guy looks like a real asshole." I'm like, okay, shit, I like her. I'm going with her. I followed her around the rest of the day, and I had a blast. And then I ended up in the modern art section, you know, the modern art. Not that I'm that bright, but I really don't get modern art. I don't. There was an easel, not an easel, a canvas. It was red, a red canvas. That was the exhibit. Someone paid that person a whole bunch of money to paint that thing and post it. You know what the real kicker was? Guess what it was called?
Red canvas.
Untitled.
Oh.
Like, that is some lazy ass artwork right there. Like, untitled? Come on. So I put in an application right there. I'm like, hey, I want to be in on this art exhibit next. Seriously, I'm going to have a blank wall and a little engraved plaque, and it's going to say, guess what I'm thinking? Or, too hungover to paint. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.